And good afternoon, everybody. It's finally here. Time to get ready to cap off what's been an absolutely incredible Season 3 here in the NNSCRA. We've crowned ourselves a new Truck Series champion in Matthew Rodriguez, a new Mobile One Cup Series champion in Trent Dunham. And here today, we are getting ready to run the first of 3 divisions, where at the end of them, we will finally find out who will be Season 3 Snickers Cup Series champion and the defending champ heading into Season 4. Here today, we got Division 1, and maybe this isn't quite the most exciting division because of the fact that really only one driver in this division is still in competition to win the championship, and that is Tony Speed for Stewart Haas Racing in the number 14 car. Trent Dunham, the pole sitter, Tim Walsh, they've been in it, but they were not able to keep up the consistency, and so they have mathematically fallen out of competing for the championship. However, both those drivers would certainly like to end the season on a high note and each pick up their second win of the season here in the Snickers Cup Series, as Trent's on the pole for this event there, as you can see in the Sega Chevy Impala. But all eyes basically today are going to be on that number 14 car, see what kind of finish he can come up with. He comes in only 1 point behind the points leader, Aaron Williams. Those two also in a bit of a tussle for the Rookie of the Year honors as well, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But Tony Speed, he's really got to set the bar here for everybody else, since he has the advantage of starting off here in the first division. It's going to be Alan Tanker lining up alongside of Trent Dunham. Alan making, I believe this is his second start, as he took over that ride from Alex Filter for last week's race at Talladega, and now for this week's race here at Zen Joltis. Jack Richards, he's looking for yet another victory in that 5 car. He holds 2 victories right now in the Snickers Cup Series, so we'll see if he can pick up his third here, which would tie him for the most this season with Aaron Williams. And then you got Kenny McCreary. He'll line up on the outside of row number 2 in 4th place. Let's get these cars rolling off as these drivers are getting ready to get underway here at Zen Joltis. We've seen what Zen Joltis can do to shake up the points in trucks and mobile. It's brought about some very unique situations here, and we're going to see if it'll do exactly the same thing here in the Snickers Cup Series. Looks like everybody's going to roll off okay here for the start of this race, so that's a good thing. As here's the starting lineup for the Snickers 500 version 1 at Zen Joltis. This is going to get good, folks. 21 laps of racing. Let's see who's going to survive. Who's going to end their Snickers Cup Series Season 3 career with a victory here at Zen Joltis? Who will tame this monstrous raceway? We're going to find out. Pace car goes beneath the yellow line. He'll head for pit road. The green flag waves, and Trent Dunham will lead us to turn 1. Not for long, though. Jack Richards makes an amazing move down low, go 3 wide there. Dunham stuck in the middle. He's trying to get some drafting help there from Kenny McCreary and Max Russell. Don't think it's going to work, though. Hendrick Power to the inside. It's going to be the GoDaddy.com Chevrolet going to the front. Jack Richards with help from Stephen Dillon. They're shuffling and slicing and dicing back there. They're now 4 wide back there around Eric Burton, Ben Ward, and Steve Marsh. As Stephen Dillon now goes to the inside. Dillon, he's got 2 victories this season. His latest, last week, just barely beating out older brother John at the stripe at Talladega. As we've got a wreck in the back. A wreck around the middle of this pack. I believe it was around the 12th position. We'll go back and document that in a minute, but we do know that Tony Speed was not involved, as he's up here just behind Jake Berg, trying to make himself a spot inside the top 5 for this caution flag. He's moving down to the inside of Robert Ban, as we got Stephen Dillon still leading. Jake Berg there with Josie Berg to his outside. Brother and sister racing side by side with Robert Ban. That's for third, as Jack Richards holds second. Nope, not for long. His car slides way up the racetrack. He's now going to lose second to Jake Berg, maybe third, as Tony Speed brings it right down to the inside, looking for that third position beneath both Josie Berg and Jack Richards. But we do know that it will be Stephen Dillon coming down, and he will get the yellow flag to put us under the caution for the first time today. I saw a lot of cars come down almost to the apron there off turn 4. Don't know what the indication was there. It's as if they maybe wanted to come down pit road, but pit road was closed. We'll have to find out what the case is there. But drivers involved in that incident. We got Sean Henley involved. Jamie Watson in this a season that he's going to be ending. He's not going to be returning next season, so a tough break for him. I saw Preston Ploward, the Hendrick number 24 on pit road. Oh, Max Russell. Man, tough break for him. We'll see him back here in Snickers and Mobile next year, but tough break for him. Jordan Hesder, he's also involved in the number 9. So we look further here. It looks like some possible front-end damage to the AAA Dodge for Penske Racing of Eric Burton. Rear-end damage to Ben Ward's machine. Lisa Shears, Connor Breton, and Adam Rose all appear to be okay. So we look further up through here, and it doesn't look like anybody else really was involved, or if they were, they got very minimal contact from the incident that occurred. So as Stephen Dillon paces us under the caution flag with the top 5 looking like this: Stephen Dillon, Jake Berg, Jack Richards, Josie Berg, and Tony Speed. Let's look back at a replay. Here's a look at what happened. It looks like they were still 4 wide here, which is not a bad thing. 5 wide actually isn't so bad here, but let's see where the contact starts. Let's look about the 13 and 24. Robert Band, Preston Ploward. Contact may begin between those two, as 24 I think is going to make a little bit of contact then down into the right rear of Jamie Watson. Right about there. Well, I'm not seeing any contact yet. It's got to be up around the 24 and the 8, though. Right? Oh, right there. Right there. There's the contact. And the 8 goes up. 24 goes up. 10 goes up. And the 02 go up. Oh, Trent Dunham, the pole sitter, got a little bit of that. He was involved. And oh my goodness, look at the cars going airborne there. Russell's upside down. Ploward's upside down. On his side. In the Virginia Tech Chevrolet is Alex Filter. Adam Rose got a piece of that. Let's look further up here. There you see Dunham. He was involved. I didn't see that. Preston flipping, barrel rolling, actually flipping over Trent Dunham. Russell still upside down. Jamie Watson's car actually flipped upside down. That's 4 cars upside down into the wall. The only car that didn't flip over was Trent Dunham. Look at the 24. Look at the 8. Synchronized barrel rolls. Oh my goodness. Russell's still upside down. Not Filter. Alan Tanker back upside down again. Oh my goodness. Oh, and no, something even further up happens. Hester was upside down. Wait a minute. Oh. Austin LaPlante up and gets the outside retaining wall. Let's rewind that just a little bit, see what happened there. How did that go down? Somebody else got into somebody else there. Who was that? Let's move it slow here. Contact. Oh, Charles Jackson. I think he got contact from Leo Rogers, sends him up into John Dillon, and then Leo goes up, and he's going to get into Jordan Hester. Ben Ward gets turned around. Oh, hard hit into the outside retaining wall. Oh, Eric Burton, he flipped over. Did Eric? There's 5 cars that flipped. Then Hester, he's going to make it 6s. I saw his car actually upside down there on that replay. Henley's car, I can see him back there just barely. He was right in the middle of it. John Dillon got turned around. Runner-up last week at Talladega. Ben Ward, he's involved. And Hester, I don't know who he's going to get nailed by, but his car gets even further up in the air than it is right now. Bob Fergus, you can see on the right side of your screen, he got involved. Austin LaPlante, left side of your screen, heading up towards the outside retaining wall. He'll pound that thing hard with the right front. Lisa Shears, I think she got through with very minimal damage. But look at the 9 car. Up and onto his roof. Makes contact with Eric Burton coming back down. And, oh man, I thought he was actually going to land back on all 4 wheels. He goes back around one more time. His barrel roll wasn't done. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and then his car goes sideways, and then he's got nothing but pavement. That car just continues to barrel roll down the back straightaway. I'd say at this point, that car's already done about 10 flips. This makes maybe number 11. I'd say probably... Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Look at the air. Look at the air. Look at the hang time on that car. Now, of course, we're in slow motion, but still. That's an awful lot of hang time there, which indicates the height that car is reaching when it leaves the pavement. My goodness. There's Fergus. There's Burton. There's Ward. Ben Ward. We see them all filing past. We know they were involved. What a scary ride for Jordan Hester. Flipping, barrel rolling. Let's look at it in real time from the spectator view of just how wild a ride that Stanley Tools Ford took for Richard Petty Motorsports. That car's still flipping. Looking at the exact same replay again, only this time in real time. There's the first incident with the first 5 cars, 4 of which all got upside down. And then there's the second incident. Watch Hester's car. Watch the wild ride right here. Car flips over, and then it gets completely perpendicular with the track, and that causes the car to completely go flipping down the back straightaway. And that car, thank heavens, it landed on all 4 wheels. We almost had to have the safety crews out there to get him out. That car ended up upside down on its roof, but that's a lot of cars involved here, and we'll try and document all that were involved and have retired from this race, as we are currently under the caution flag for the first time today here at Zen Joltis. Well, while we were away looking at those replays, we had ourselves some pit stops, so we'll document that in just a minute. As the guy who let us down to the caution flag, Stephen Dillon, I don't think he's even going to be starting inside the top 10. If so, he's starting near the rear of the top 10. But first, drivers that were involved in this incident that have retired from the race include Eric Burton, Leo Rogers, John Dillon, Trent Dunham, also Austin LaPlante, Bob Fergus, Sean Henley. Other drivers include the Jordan Hester machine, who took that wild ride, Jamie Watson, Preston Ploward, Max Russell, and Alan Tanker. So there's 2 Penske cars in John Dillon and Eric Burton, 2 Hendrick cars in Preston Ploward and Sean Henley, and several others joining them back there in the ranks of the DNF'd in the garage area here at Zen Joltis. We'll get back to green flag racing on lap 6 of 21. And here's the way they line up for the restart, is the whole field's been shuffled up here after the different pit strategies went on there when they came down pit road on lap 3. Logan Wilson is the leader now. Second is T.O. Bain. Tony Speed, he's up to 3rd place right now. 4th place is Brittany Rogers, and 5th is Jack Richards. Josie Berg is 6th. 7th is Jake Berg with Callum Wales 8th. Robert Band 9th. And Richard Earnhardt is up inside the top 10 now in the 10th position. Then you got Ray Wilson 11th. Charles Jackson is in 12th. 13th, Stephen Dillon. 14th is going to be Adam Rose. 15th, Connor Breton. Then it's Lisa Shears in 16th. 17th, Kenny McCurry. 18th will be Emilio Navarrete. Then it'll be Ben Ward in 19th. 20th place will be Tim Walsh. Catherine Young in 21st. And Colin Stewart, will actually be in 22nd. Last car on the racetrack. So out of the original 34 cars we had start this race, we have a total of 22 left to race it out, and we've only reached 5 laps into this event, just about 25% of the way into the final race of the season for these drivers in the Snickers Cup Series. Well, folks, as Season 3 is beginning to come to a close now, we're getting all preparations ready for Season 4. We're bringing some different looking features next season, including, and I cannot take credit for this myself, I have to thank Pie-Sized Con for this idea, but there will be a pre-season Thunder, where you're going to be able to see yourselves and your fellow drivers come out onto the racetrack at Daytona for a practice session. That'll happen for the 2 divisions of trucks, 3 divisions of mobile, and 3 divisions of Snickers. That'll be about a 15 to 20 minute practice. It'll actually be done as a live stream, and it might possibly have some guest commentators in it as well. Still no exact date as to when that will be scheduled. It'll definitely be after Season 3 has been completed, but currently stuff is in the works to be able to get Season 4 started as soon as possible, and it could start maybe as soon as next week. So Logan Wilson, we've seen this number 4 Red Bull Toyota Camry up here at the front quite a bit, but he's never been able to get the job done here in Season 4. Can he get it done here today? Green flag comes back out. Last time that car went to victory lane, Jared Crocious, I believe, put that car in victory lane. I may be wrong, but I believe he did, and so we're going to see if maybe the 4 car can go to victory lane for the first time here in Season 4. As they start splitting here. Whoa, look at Tony Speed. He got moved up to the high side. He's getting freight trained. Brittany Rogers, Jack Richards, Josie Berg, they're all ganging up on that number 14. If he slips to the back, he's going to have a heck of a time trying to move his way back up to the front, as now battles on for the lead. How about T.O. Bain? This guy looking for his 3rd career win, his 2nd of Season 3, as he's going to go to the front there. That car comes out of Richard Childress Racing Stables, and he's going to take the top spot. Brittany Rogers, how would it be for her? She came into this season pretty late, has been down at the bottom of the standings due to that fact. Not as many starts as many of these drivers in this field. And also, how about the very dangerous Jack Richards? Right there in that 5 car. We know his ability of being able to get around restrictor plate tracks. Let's think back to when we had the All-Star race weekend. He was dominating every single race in sight there. And that was, of course, back at Coca-Cola, not Coca-Cola, I'm sorry. That was back at M&M Superspeedway, but still, pretty similar characteristics between that track and this. High speeds, high banking, and a lot of room to be able to maneuver your car around as they are 4 wide back there. Emilio Navarrete, Connor Breton, some fellow Fords back there. Going 3 wide and now 4 wide as they now settle back to 3 wide formation. Looks like the outside line's getting a bit of a run here. T.O. Bain getting some help from Ray Wilson. I think he's going to keep the top spot, but maybe not for long. Drafting help works again down low and in the middle. It's now T.O. Bain up high, Adam Rose in the middle, Jack Richards down low. Which line's going to work? They all have drafting partners, but they're all side by side, 3 by 3 by 3, and then 4 by 4 by 4 back through this field. Connor Breton going 4 wide for the lead. Has he got any drafting help, though? Here comes Colin Stewart. Look at these guys. Unbelievable. And Breton will clear these guys. Breton to the lead. Looking for his 2nd win this season in the 21 car. My goodness, that was some good, hard racing there, and it's not over. They're still 4 wide. Almost 5 wide back there. They are 5 wide. As Colin Stewart comes to the inside. Filling in that 03 car for Tim Feigl. And he's going to take the top spot. As here comes Brittany Rogers now to the inside. She's looking for the top spot. Nope, she won't be able to get to the inside. No drafting help. Colin Stewart's going to try and make the block on her. Cannot do it. Here comes Brittany Rogers back to the inside. Help from Charles Jackson. It's getting good here. Look at Tim Walsh. He'd love to be able to pick up his 2nd Snickers Cup Series victory of the season. He's been eliminated mathematically from championship competition. Speaking of which, let's find out where the championship contender Tony Speed is currently running. They are 6 wide back there, right around where he is. Speed's in the middle of a 6 wide battle there, and they're still keeping it clean. Whoa, look out off this corner. Wow, great job by those guys keeping it together. But let's see where currently he crossed the line last time. 11th position did Tony Speed, as it's still a 2 wide battle for the lead between Charles Jackson and Brittany Rogers. Tony Speed, man, he's in a hornet's nest back here. I would not want to be in his shoes right now, as he has got a big fight on his hands. He's stuck in the middle, which is the worst place to be. There's no maneuvering space there. You're just riding your line and hoping these guys are going to be able to keep it together and not bounce off each other. Richard Earnhardt just slid up the racetrack there. That could have been a wreck, but looks like he was able to keep it together there, as I think he tucked in behind Tim Walsh on the high side. Meanwhile, up front, Logan Wilson. Whoa, they're 5 wide for the lead. 5 wide. Robert Band going way down low. Callum Wills, Logan Wilson, Charles Jackson, and Brittany Rogers were all in that mix. But Robert Band, with help from T.O. Bain, goes to the front. Robert Band, let's not forget, Truck Series winner here a few days ago. Ended up winning the Division II Truck Series race. That was his 2nd Truck Series win of Season 3. As he's looking to maybe pick up his first Snickers Cup Series victory of Season 3. And number 13, Geico Ford, started off the season pretty strong, was running up inside the top 20 in points for most of the season, and then just hard luck seemed to come the way of that team for Germain Racing, and he just kept falling through the standings. Could be able to end the season on a high note, but here comes T.O. Bain back to the inside. That car looking very racy here. I don't think I've seen that car fall outside the top 5 here since we've gotten back to the green flag. He may be the car to beat here today. Seeing Adam Rose coming up through the field now, though. That's a Richard Childress Racing teammate. Could those two work together? I'm also seeing Colin Stewart coming back up here. Seeing a lot of young drivers who were fill-in drivers here for the end of the season. Starting to make their emergence up here. Zen Joltis certainly a place to do it. As T.O. Bain's diving for pit road. T.O. Bain's going to pit road. Regularly scheduled stops. Now you guys are probably thinking, why on lap 10 would these guys be making a pit stop? Please consider this racetrack is ginormous. It's a huge racetrack, which means a lot more fuel is used up, a lot more tire wear. They're going to have to make pit stops a lot earlier, and T.O. Bain knows that better than anybody. There's a little bit of pit strategy possibly being played out here, as he's going to come down pit road. He's going to make a regularly scheduled stop, and he's going to be all by himself, though. Whoa, there's a big wreck! Oh my word, there was Jack Richards, Ray Wilson, Jake Berg, Kenny McCurry, big, huge wreck, big pile up there on the back straightaway. And this is going to play right into the hands of T.O. Bain. What a move to come down pit road on that lap, 1 lap before that wreck occurs. As they're going to race side by side for the lead. We'll go back and see who was involved in that wreck in just a moment. I do know that Jack Richards was involved along with Kenny McCurry and Ray Wilson. But we'll look back in just a moment as they're still side by side for the lead. Emilio Navarrete down low, Adam Rose up high. Both of them been to victory lane already this season. Colin Stewart's there, Logan Wilson there as they come out of the final corner. Looks like it's going to be a drag race to the stripe. Who's going to get it? It is Adam Rose with the high side advantage. He'll lead us under the caution flag. Oh, there's Ray Wilson. He's involved. We know that. Teal Baines just completed his service. Jake Berg was involved. We saw him in the 20. His teammate, Richard Earnhardt, tough break for him. He was up there battling for the lead a few times. He's involved. Oh, Stephen Dillon. Heavy-duty damage as all three Penske cars have had problems here this week. Certainly a complete 180-degree turnabout from last week when they finished 1-2. Tim Walsh, I think he's got some front-end damage to his car, possibly. So we'll watch him as he comes by here on the back straightaway. Yeah, I think he may have gotten a piece of it. And we know that Kenny McCurry and Jack Richards also were involved as the caution has come out. 13th place, that's where we've got Tony Speed listed on our current running order. As Adam Rose paces the field, let's look back at a replay of what put us under the caution for the second time today. We are past halfway here at Zen Joltis. Well, this was a 6-wide battle that almost looked like it was going to work, but you can see just how close they were racing between the 09, the 20, and the 15. That's Tim Walsh, Jake Berg, and Kenny McCurry. And I think the least little bit of contact is going to be made. Oh, no! No! It was Josie Berg turning her own brother down into Kenny McCurry. That least little bit of contact sends him up into the 5 of Jack Richards, the 18 of Richard Earnhardt. Stephen Dillon, you can see back there, he got involved. Tony Speed. Oh, he missed Stevens Dillon. He just missed Kenny McCurry as Ray Wilson's up into the catch fence. What a miss by Tony Speed. Unbelievable job. And the cautions come out. A 6-car pileup here is... Man, that was a huge hit right there for those drivers. Oh, real tough break there. Let's go back to green flag racing. Well, we're getting close to being ready to go back under the green flag. Drivers out after that incident are... Stephen Dillon, Richard Earnhardt, Jake Berg, and Ray Wilson. Jack Richards, for some reason, was able to continue on, so apparently he didn't get that much damage in that incident. So he's been able to continue on. Tony Speed, he's still in this thing. However, you see that Robert Bann is the current leader. That's because Adam Rose pitted back on lap 12. Then on lap 13, Emilio Navarrete, who had inherited the lead, had pitted. And several other drivers followed them down pit road as well. I saw Charles Jackson come down pit road. Lots of other drivers. And so here's the way they'll line up for the restart here when we'll get back to green flag race on lap 15 of 21, giving us a total of 6 laps to go. Robert Bann is now the leader. Second is Connor Breton. T.O. Bain is in third. Fourth place is Ben Ward with Lisa Shears in fifth. Tony Speed is sixth. Seventh is Brittany Rogers. Eighth place is going to be Logan Wilson. Ninth will be Josie Berg with Callum Wales in 10th. 11th place Tim Walsh. Jack Richards will be in 12th. Those drivers did not pit under the caution flag. Then we got 13th place Adam Rose, 14th Charles Jackson, 15th Catherine Young, 16th Kenny McCurry, 17th is Colin Stewart, and Emilio Navarrete will be in 17th position, I believe. I think that's right. Let me just confirm that. 18th. He'll be 18th place. So we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Drivers who came down across stripe 1-2 last time are 17th, 18th on this restart. As Robert Bann comes down, he'll receive the green flag. We're back to green flag racing here with only 18 cars left to battle it out. All 18 still on the lead lap. So no lap cars for these drivers to have to contend with. As Connor Breton looks to the high side, is he going to get any drafting help? He's got T.O. Bain, Lisa Shears recruited up there, but Ben Ward trying to do it all by himself down low here as Robert Bann will move up. Whoa! That could have been close there. He nearly squeezed Connor Breton up into the wall, and Connor Breton's a hard racing competitor, and I don't think he would have given Robert Bann any real estate right there. I think that it would have been either that Robert Bann would get turned up into the wall or Breton would have gone up with him, but that nearly could have been a wreck between the leaders, as it's going to be now a battle for second place. Look who's in it. Yeah, right there, down the inside line, way down there in a 4-wide battle, that is Tony Speed. As we got T.O. Bain not able to make any move yet on Robert Bann. Bann driving off into the sunset, so to speak, as he enjoys a 2-car length advantage here over the field. That's normally not a good thing, but they're pretty spaced out right now, so he may be able to get away with it at this point as T.O. Bain kind of slid up there through that turn. Now he's starting to come down, get a little bit of drafting help. He's going to get in the form of the Aaron's Dream Machine of Josie Berg. Tony Speed still very much in this. I'll tell you what, if I were Aaron Williams, I'd be taking notes of what Tony Speed's been doing. The biggest note he'd have to take is the way that Tony Speed was able to avoid the wreck that happened last time there, where he was somehow able to miss both Kenny McCurry and Jack Richards and somehow get through that wreck. I think he also missed Stephen Dillon. How he got through there, I'm not exactly sure, but just an unbelievable job by Tony Speed. As now he's starting to slip back through the field here. He's currently listed in 6th position. I think right now on our unofficial scoring monitor he is 7th. So he's now going for 6th place underneath of T.O. Bain. And we got a few former winners up through this field here. One of them I just noticed right there, Callum Wales, our Daytona race winner back in I think it was race 13. And he's got an opportunity here to go to victory lane as he's up here. But I've been very impressed, very, very impressed as a matter of fact, with that car right there. The 03 of Colin Stewart. This is only his 2nd start. He made his debut in the Snickers Cup Series last week at Talladega. He's been up here inside the top 10 pretty much all day long. He's been up at the front, then slipped back, then come back up. He's learning this track, and how would it be for Colin Stewart in his 2nd start in the Snickers Cup Series, his 2nd career start in the NNSCRA, to be able to go to victory lane? Speaking of start, Logan Wilson, he's starting to make some moves here as he's up here to the front now, bypassing Robert Band. That's the first challenge Band's had since the drop of the green flag for the restart back on lap 15. And here comes Colin Stewart. He looks to the inside. Oh my goodness, he's awfully close on that left rear. That makes me awfully nervous when they do that. But he's given some pretty nice space. Good move there. Don't want to push the issue. A little bit of an unusual reaction there, kind of a veteran reaction out of a rookie. May not even be able to be actually classified as a rookie because it's only his 2nd start. I don't know what you would call a rookie, or not a rookie, but I don't know what you would call a person who's just basically starting out in this series. A rookie would basically be someone that's had about maybe at least 5 starts, maybe 10 starts. I guess maybe you'd call them a rookie if they're just starting out, and then maybe a novice when they get to about 10 races. But nonetheless, Logan Wilson, we were talking about him at the top of the program, how he has been so close so many times and just not been able to get the job done. And right now, as they're racing 5 wide behind him, he's just out in front enjoying the view, saying, "Thanks guys, you keep racing like that, just let me have this nice comfortable advantage here for the next 4 laps and let me pick up my first win of Season 3. Logan Wilson, I'll tell you what, it's not been a good season for him in any series here in the NNSCRA. He just wants to end on a high note here, and this is his last opportunity here, as now he's got a challenge. 2 buddies going to race it out, the 3 and the 4, Adam Rose and Logan Wilson, side by side for the lead. We've seen Richard Childress Racing up here at the front pretty much all day long. We saw T.O. Bain take a turn at the front. We've seen Adam Rose up here at the front. So Richard Childress Racing's got some good entries here still in the running for this thing. Also, don't count out Callum Wales back there. That's another Richard Childress Racing entry. But I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed right now with Tony Speed. He's a rookie in this series in that 14 team. He's done a phenomenal job all season long, and the big thing in this whole situation is the fact that this guy's not been to victory lane yet. He's been very consistent, but has not yet been able to give Storehouse Racing a victory. His teammates Bill Doberpool and Jake Cole, they've been able to get to victory lane now, giving Storehouse Racing 2 victories so far this season, but still no victory for the number 14 team, and it could happen here today as he's now pushing Charles Jackson to the front. Jackson side by side with Adam Rose. And Tony Speed, I'll tell you what, he's in a good position right here. This is the spot you'd want to be in when the white flag drops, because then you can make that critical move there. Of course, you also have to put into play the fact that there are these wide straightaways here on the back and front, and also between turns 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. I thought for a moment there Lisa Shears was actually going to go underneath him for a second, but she had no drafting help, and so that outside line kicked in. Emilio Navarre, Connor Breton, they started moving up, and now they're battling with Lisa Shears. That is for position number 7 and 8. Charles Jackson continues to lead, though Tony Speed gets a little loose through that corner. Now has to keep it corrected. Try and pick the throttle back up as Emilio Navarrete's all over the back of him. Navarrete, a former winner this season. One victory in the Snickers Cup Series as he's now going to check down to the inside line on the Tony Speed machine. Tony Speed coming on that high side, trying to rally Adam Rose behind him, but Rose kind of stepped out of line. That's not going to help Tony Speed at all. And whoa! Did you see Charles Jackson give a little wiggle down that straightaway there? There may have been some contact between himself and Emilio Navarrete. That could have been huge. As here's now Colin Stewart back to the inside. Robert Band now back here. And Logan Wilson, I don't think we've heard the last of him as he's there. As a matter of fact, give a good shout out to Germain Racing as they're side by side. Two teammates, the Geico Ford of Robert Band and the 03 Germain Racing Toyota Camry of Colin Stewart. And then you got Navarrete on the high side there. Drafting help from Tony Speed. This is getting good. This is getting really good. We got 1.5 laps to go. And there's about 12 to 14 drivers that are still eligible to win this thing. Moves can be made that can move you from about 8th place to 1st place in just one lap here because this track is just so long and so spacious. White flag is out. It's Robert Band the leader, but here comes a challenge down low. Logan Wilson, he's recruited Brittany Rogers to help him here for the final lap. Up high, it's two teammates, Robert Band and Colin Stewart. Will they be able to work together cohesively as they continue to run that high line? Logan Wilson now has lost Brittany Rogers, now comes back down to get her again, as Rogers was not able to come up and help him because Connor Breton was above her. But Robert Band's help from his teammate is going to push him to the front. Robert Band and the Geico Ford trying to go 2 for 3 here at Zen Joltis. Down the back straightaway they come. Still teammates 1-2. Will the Colin Stewart machine be able to make a move? Here he comes. He peeks to the inside. Teammates, side by side. Will they race each other cleanly, or will they be beaten and banged when they come down here to the stripe? Down low is Colin Stewart. Up high is Robert Band. We're getting a report that Tony Speed has just been penalized for something. We'll have to get a report on that in just a moment as he's still running up here inside the top 10. But it's Colin Stewart down low, Robert Band up high. They're getting ready to come off the final corner here, folks. Down they come to the stripe. Who's going to get it? It's going to be... I think it's going to be Robert Band. Robert Band is going to go 2 for 3 here at Zen Joltis as Germain Racing gets a 1-2 finish. How ironic. Germain Racing with a 1-2 finish 1 week after Penske Racing gets a 1-2 finish. Wow. Alright, here's a look at how this went down. This was unbelievable. You had Logan Wilson right up against the back bumper of Robert Band there. Emilio Navarrete was not really up against Colin Stewart's back bumper, so that's why ended up coming down to this. We're going to just look at that. Unbelievable. How close was Colin Stewart on getting his first victory? But tremendous job by Robert Band and Germain Racing as a whole. And in case you're wondering, we told you that Tony Speed had been penalized. Well, what happened was we didn't even know this because we were looking at the replays of that second wreck that occurred. But apparently Tony Speed left his pit box with equipment, did not come down pit road to serve his pass-through penalty, and so he has actually been scored where he is, but he will be docked 5 points for not adhering to the NNSCRA calling him down to pit road. So that's 5 valuable championship points that Tony Speed will not receive here towards the championship hunt. And that could really play out a big factor into whether or not he'll win the championship. That's a tough break. He really should have come down pit road. I mean, even if he had finished in 18th position, still, that would have been okay, I would think, for him. But let's fast forward here just a little bit until the field crosses the stripe. See where Tony Speed actually finished officially here in this race. Would have been, I believe, 8th position. That can't be right. No, he would have finished in 12th position. And he's getting docked 5 points, which would have technically meant that he finished in 17th place. So what would the point have been what would the problem have been of coming down pit road? He would have been 18th for the restart. I think he would have finished higher than 17th place. So technically, Tony Speed, even though he finishes 12th in this race, he's actually credited only for finishing as high as 17th place. So a tough break there for that Storehouse Racing entry, and really by fault of his own. He really should have adhered to the NNSCRA officials, come down pit road, and gotten that pass-through penalty done. So really just a really bad thing for Tony Speed to have done, and that could have ended his championship hopes. I think he's going to be really upset at himself, but of course NNSCRA had to mandate something, and so he's going to be docked a valuable 5 points. So a tough break for Tony Speed, as he is going to be really regretting this, I bet. But he may still squeak out the championship. You never know, because we still have Division 2, we still have Division 3 to come, and Zen Joltis may play out into Tony Speed's favor. But right now, he's got to really be questioning his motives after doing that. So congratulations to Robert Band. He goes 2 for 3 here at Zen Joltis, ends off his Snickers Cup Series career for Season 3 with a victory here at Zen Joltis. And we're getting ready to find out how Division 2 and Division 3 will fan out. At the end of those, we'll have a Snickers Cup Series champion, Germain Racing, a 1-2 finish, 1 week after Penske Racing gets a 1-2 finish. Very ironic there as well. Robert Band with a victory, folks. We'll see you next time. Here's the official finishing results, as we have a huge point shakeup that may come up here, especially with the fact that Tony Speed was penalized 5 points here during this race. See you guys later. You've been watching the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.